Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. I like to make little top 5 lists in my head just for fun sometimes. I'd like to share one of those top 5 lists with you today. It's my top 5 favorite vocalists of all time. Now, this is a purely subjective list, and I'm not saying that these are the 5 best voices of all time. They're just my favorite. When I hear these 5 people on the radio, there is no way I'm going to turn the station. There's just something about the soothing, beautiful quality of their voices that gets me every time. Number 5, Ronald Isley.
Maybe I think too much, but something's wrong.
Born in 1941 in Cincinnati, Ohio, he started singing in the Baptist church at the age of 2. In his teenage years, he started touring with his brothers, and they signed a deal with RCA Records in 1959. Their first big hit was Shout.
Well, you know you make me wanna shout and kick my head.
Other big hits throughout the decade include This Old Heart of Mine,
So hard of mine, been broke 1,000 times, each time you break away.
It's Your Thing,
It's your thing, do what you wanna do.
Who's That Lady,
Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Beautiful lady.
and my personal favorite, For the Love of You.
I wanna be living for the love of you.
Neil Strauss of the New York Times wrote that Isley is one of pop music's most passionate and sensitive singers, wooing and seducing in a soft, liquid falsetto. He nailed it. Number 4, Chris Cornell. Back in the 1990s, I borrowed a Soundgarden CD from my friend Nate, and my world was rocked by the weapon that is Chris Cornell's voice. It just slays me every time. It's been described as having a brutal edge, and I think that's right on the money. It's a dark baritone at times and a cutting high tenor at other times, giving him the power to successfully front 3 great bands and several killer solo projects. Some of my favorite cuts through the years are Black Hole Sun,
Times are gone for honest men, and sometimes try to
The Day I Tried to Live,
pull the trigger, drop the blade, and watch the rolling head
Hunger Strike,
from the mouths of decadence.
Like a Stone,
And your house, I long to be.
and It Doesn't Remind Me.
Bend and shape me, I love the way you are.
It was a sad day when Chris Cornell left us at the age of 52 in 2017. Rest in peace, Chris. Number 3 is Vince Gill. He's the only country artist to make my list, although probably Linda Ronstadt would come in as a number 6, so that was a close one. Born in 1957 in Oklahoma, Vince Gill has one of the most soaring, beautiful, just absolutely pure voices I've ever encountered.
Only you could know the pain.
He's charted over 40 singles on the country charts, and not only is he a fantastic vocalist, but he's a multi-instrumentalist and an award-winning composer. He fronted the band Pure Prairie League in the 70s, and well, you know, they recorded my song.
Aimee, what you wanna do?
Well, almost. But he became best known when he started to record for MCA Records in the 80s. I love to look up live videos of Vince Gill on YouTube because his live performances are just about as good as his studio recordings.
When you smile, that smile, the world turns out.
He's ultra talented and he always collaborates with great artists. Mark Knopfler even asked him to be a part of Dire Straits at one point. He declined, but you can hear him as a backup singer on the On Every Street album. Plus, he plays a mean guitar. My favorite tracks are
whenever you come around.
I still believe in you.
I still believe in you.
Don't let our love start slipping away.
Don't let our love start slipping away.
And go rest high upon that mountain.
Go rest high on that mountain.
If you're not familiar with his work, it's just gonna knock you down. I don't know how anybody sings that high and pure and clear and true. He still writes, records, and performs regularly. Go Vint. Number 2, Karen Carpenter. A Karen unlike any other Karen.
We've only just begun to live.
Karen Ann Carpenter was born in 1950 and passed away tragically in 1983. She grew up in Downey, California, not far from me, and studied the drums extensively. She was a huge Buddy Rich fan. She and her older brother Richard went to Long Beach State, where they even sang in the choir together. The two of them found commercial success in 1969 when they signed with A&M Records. Although she was a dynamite drummer, and Richard was one of the 20th century's most prolific pop songwriters, it was Karen's voice that made the world fall in love with the Carpenters.
So many roads to choose.
Once you hear her velvety smooth contralto instrument, there's no turning back. You're hooked, and even the manliest of men are mesmerized.
Don't you remember you told me you love me, baby?
My mother-in-law always says that she loves Karen Carpenter because she can sing along with her songs. Most of the time she stayed in a fairly low range, which does make her repertoire really relatable and easily sung along with. My favorites of the Carpenters are Close to You.
Why do birds suddenly appear?
Rainy Days and Mondays.
Hanging around.
For All We Know.
Love, look at the two of us. Strange
Only Yesterday.
time, nobody knew the pain I was going through.
And Superstar.
Long ago.
Number 1 for me, and it has been since the very first day I heard his voice, is Sam Cooke.
I was born by the river.
Nobody else's voice speaks to me quite like his. He was born in 1931 in Mississippi, but when he was 2, his family moved to Chicago. His dad was a minister, and he grew up singing in the church. He sang in many gospel groups before deciding to go a little more commercial in 1957. And between the years 1957 and 1963, he had 30 singles that charted on the top 40. He was a pioneer music businessman as well as a civil rights activist. And last year, a documentary called The 2 Killings of Sam Cooke was released on Netflix. And that's a great place to look if you'd like to learn more about his short life. He wrote most of the songs that he recorded, and gosh, there were some powerful ones. He focused mostly on singles and was really, really good at cranking out the hits.
At first I thought it was infatuation.
It's been said that Sam's voice conveys such deep sincerity and palpable emotion that it feels like he's singing right to you.
But ooh, it's lasted so long.
Aside from his gorgeous high tenor tone, the thing that absolutely knocks me off my feet about Sam Cooke was his confidence. He sang like he was born to sing, and he knew it. And even his more kind of candy-coated recordings, like Only 16,
She was only 16.
or Cupid,
Cupid, draw back your bow and let your arrow go.
sound just as engaging and as important as Chain Gang,
That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang all day long.
Be with me, Jesus.
When I'm in trouble, when I'm in misery.
And a change is going to come.
It's been a long time coming, but I know.
Because of that confidence. Along with the other hits I've already mentioned, notable recordings for me include You Send Me,
Whoa, you thrill me.
Wonderful World,
Don't know much about a science book. Don't know much about the French I took.
and Another Saturday Night.
Another Saturday night that I ain't got nobody. I got some money.
I know that everybody's top 5 greatest vocalists of all time list is going to be different than mine, but thanks for letting me share mine with you today. Only 2 of my top 5 are still living, so if you ever get a chance to see Ronald Isley or Vince Gill, go do it. The others live on through their many, many recordings, and I hope I've inspired you today to go listen to these masters. Thanks for watching Aimee Nolte Music. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.